All right, this is a very popular type of question where they ask you to read 4 different statements and see which one is either true or false. So this is something that we're going to be looking at a lot, not only with experimental probability, but with a lot of different topics. All right, so example C says Kevin spins a spinner 30 times. The spinner is labeled with numbers 1 through 6. The table below shows the number of times the spinner lands on the different numbers. So it says which statement is not true. Okay, what happens a lot of times is people will go through this and they'll read one and they'll say, no, that's wrong, and they'll just mark it out or something like that. I don't recommend doing that because whenever they do stuff like this, say not true, that gets confusing and you end up getting the question wrong even though you didn't necessarily not know what to do. So, whenever it says which statement is not true, what I do is I put a big F right here for false. That's what they are wanting. They're wanting a false statement. Then whenever I read each one of these, instead of marking it out, I'll put either a T or an F for true or false. Alright, so let's look. With these statements, what this really turns into is taking a sentence that's written in English and translating it to math. It's just like translating from one language to another. You have to look for the certain words that mean certain things, and once you're able to do that, it really is not too bad. So A says the spinner is 3 times as likely to land on a 1 as it is 6. So it goes from 1 to 6. So I start with 1. And it says is 3 times. Is means equals. So they're saying that the 1 is or equals 3 times as likely to land on 6. Now, the way that they worded this one is a little bit confusing because they already have numbers in there. What I like to do, it's much easier if they have colors here because then these are the only numbers. So whenever they have numbers, what I do is I'll put little like quotation marks around them. Okay, the 1 and the 6. Those aren't the number of times that it lands on it. Those are just the numbers that are on the spinner. The reason I do that is because on the next step, we have to replace those numbers with the number of times it actually landed on that. So, the number of times it landed on 1. Look over here, that was 3. They're saying that 3 equals 3 times the number of times it landed on 6. Here's 6, it landed on there 1 time. Okay, so what I did was I replaced the number that's on the spinner with the number of times it landed on that number. Okay, same here. The number that was on the spinner, I replaced it with the number of times it landed on that number. Okay, so now 3 equals 3 times 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So, is that a true statement? Is that equation correct? Yes. So that is a true statement. I'm not marking anything out. I'm just putting a T next to it so that I know it's true. B says the spinner is half as likely to land on 3 as it is 5. So I'm going from 3 to 5. So 3 is half. Is means equals. Half is just 1/2 times the 5. Okay, so these are the numbers that are on the spinner. Now I'm going to replace them with the number of times it landed on that. Landed on a 3 4 times, and they're saying that that is equal to 1/2 of, okay, it landed on a 4 8 times. So 4 equals half of 8 is 4. Does 4 equal 4? Yep, that is another true statement. Okay, let's look at C. The spinner is 2 times as likely to land on 4 as it is 3. So I'm going from 4 to 3. 4 is 2 times, so that means is equal 2 times 3. Now I need to replace these numbers that are in quotes with the number of times it actually landed on it. 4, that landed 6 times, equals 2 times 3, that happened 4 times. So 6 equals 2 times 4, that gives me 8. Does 6 equal 8? Nope. So that is a false statement. Okay, and D says the spinner is least likely to land on the number 6. Okay, the number 6, it landed on it only 1 time. So, yeah, that's the least number of times that it landed on anything. So that is a true statement. And this one wants the false statement. I have true, true, false, true. So false is what I want. That is my answer. Okay.